Awesome. I don't know about a fire workshop. I'm just here to talk about the ecosystem that we are building with Lisk. But I'll start by asking, how many of you have heard of us before? How many of you have heard about Lisk? How many of you know what a layer 2 is? How many of you know what a layer 2 is? I was told we have gurus here. And of course, we all know why we're here. So I'm just sharing about what Lisk is doing in Africa. Okay. So Lisk was founded back in 2016 as a layer 1 blockchain. It had a community of over 200,000 strong globally. We've been here since the beginning. We're among the first blockchains to do an ICO back in 2016. And we've been growing since. And recently, we noted that most of our user base was coming from emerging markets, mostly Africa and Southeast Asia. And so we decided to focus, or to make this our core focus. How do we support the builders who are contributing the most value to our chain? And hence we looked at re-strategizing and coming up with a collective approach that supports builders in Africa as a whole, creating an ecosystem from the ground up that sort of supports you and enables you to be able to plug into this ecosystem and access a couple of things. So this is what I'm going to talk about. So our mission is to provide the most attractive ecosystem to realize the products focused on real world use cases in emerging markets. That's basically it. So we mostly support projects that are solving for real world problems. And this is why we have our focus on Africa, and specifically Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa. I've met some of you when we were here during the Lisk Roadshow back in May. And what we were doing back then is sort of setting the precedent for our presence on the continent. That included creating a program that supports founders. So I'll just skip over all this because I know you all know about the TVL, the optimism stack that we're building on, and the super chain. I want to talk more about what we have for founders and developers, because that's what's important to you guys. You don't want to hear about all this. You want to hear what we have for you. So what does Lisk bring to the table? Why build on Lisk? We have so many layer 2s out there. We have a couple of layer 2s building on the super chain, including Base, Mode, Celo is also coming. We have the World Chain app. So why Lisk? So Lisk's core focus is supporting real world applications. What does that mean? That means we look for developers who are solving a problem that they resonate with, because that assures you that whatever you're building has product market fit, because you've experienced this issue or you resonate with this issue and you're solving for it with blockchain. And that's where we come in. How do we support you? So with Lisk, what you do is once you've built your product on Lisk, you automatically qualify for the grant program. And the grant program is, the design for the grant program is milestone based. What does this mean? This means we work with you along the way. We don't just give you a grant and then let you figure out how to utilize that grant. So what we do is our grant is classified, we start from the builder grant. So the builder grant is $4,000 that's given to you once your app is deployed on the Lisk mainnet. This 4K is to support you to get you to the next level. So the grant level starts from 4K and goes all the way to startup funding at 100K. And what we do with you is when you apply for this grant, we structure an agreement with you that helps you to forecast where you see your product going. We don't want products that get a grant and then a few months later the project died, the founder is on to a new one, looking for another grant. No, we want you to have that focused vision so that we can work with you long term. That's what Lisk's ethos is. We are here for the long term. This is not a passing fad. So we structure the grant from 4K. So 4K is the minimum you can get. And then we structure milestones that get you all the way up to 20K in funding. And then from that, it goes all the way up to 100K. That's just the grant program. We also have retroactive funding that's given to projects that already have been on Lisk for quite some time. You qualify for applying for RPGF, both on Lisk, and because Lisk is built on the Optimism stack, you also automatically qualify for the Optimism RPGF. You can apply for that too when your project is on Lisk. The exciting feature that is building on the superchain. So why the superchain? This is why. The interoperability between chains. Until now, we haven't had that true interoperability that people talk about. You know, we do bridging, we integrate with chains like, bridges like Chainport, which integrate over 20 chains. So that is what the interoperability that was in Web3 was. But with the superchain, what happens is all these apps that are building on the superchain, from Base to Lisk to Mode, all of this will be able, a few of them, of course, for the pilot that's happening in this quarter, will be able to access this feature. That means you deploy your DeFi application, you deploy your DApp on Lisk, you can be able to tap into liquidity and users from Base, from Mode, from the World Chain app, from all these other applications, all these other blockchains that are building on the superchain. So this means that now that these applications, these blockchains have the same layer that you can interact with. They have a user base that you can tap into across Base and the rest. So it comes down to now, what do these individual chains offer you as a builder? Because if the tech stack is the same, if the layer is the same, you can access liquidity and user bases from the other chains on the Optimism superchain. So what do these specific chains offer you? With Lisk, you get the grant program, you get the RPGF. We also have what I'm particularly excited about, which explains why we are here, is our community approach. What we decided when we were coming up with our Africa strategy is we are not just gonna come and give out grants and then hope that we get 2, 3, 4 good kill apps. That's not how it works. That's what other chains have been doing ever since 2018, 2016. I know a couple of people here have been in the space for quite some time. So we were not going to just come and reinvent the wheel. So what we did is we partnered with a couple of community building initiatives on the continent so that not only as a developer, because I was a developer until my skill set ran out. Yeah. So, and what I faced then, I started out at a hackathon. We were 3 developers. We built out a demo. But outside of the demo, we didn't know how to pitch. We didn't know how to make decks. And so one of us had to sacrifice their dev skill set to learn the business side of things, and that was me. And then learn how to build your own community, get some following for your products, and all that stuff. You know, that's a lot of heavy lifting that sort of takes away the effort that goes into designing a product that truly serves the people and accomplishes what you had in mind. And so what we did is we have this builder program with Web3 Bridge, and we have a cohort of students that are building, of developers that are building on Lisk. And what this means is, you know, Web3 Bridge is our community partner in terms of recruiting and equipping people with the right skills to build on Lisk. And aside from Web3 Bridge, we also have Borderless in Port Harcourt, who've been running consecutive workshops ever since May. And they have a rich library of resources for not only Nigerian builders, but African builders in general, on workshops, extensive workshops on what the technical aspects are involved in building on Lisk. And so they have that archive. Web3 Bridge equips you with the right skills to build on Lisk. We have also partnered with Aya and CV Labs to offer an incubation program to early stage projects. How early stage? Even at MVP level. We have some solo builders who joined the CV Labs incubation program with just an idea. And right now they're on track to getting their MVP out and rolling out with some partners. So we support you from the ground up as a developer. What do you need? You only need to have that good idea, that vision, that roadmap, and the technical capacity to be able to build out this product when you are given the resources. So we give you, we financially support you. We have community support and backing. We have technical capacity backing through our incubators. The Aya incubator is one of the latest partnerships that we've signed, and that is launching this month, September. And this is specifically geared towards our West African builders. We want to have, because again, we were looking for people who understand what building a community and building a product that addresses the community issues, what it takes to do that. And, you know, we were looking for the people who understood these issues, and our mission resonated with them. And those are Web3 Bridge, Borderless, Aya, and CV Labs. And so with Aya, this one is launching this month. If you, even for the people who are participating in the hackathon and are building on Lisk, you qualify, you are eligible to apply for that. And participating in that incubator guarantees you entry into the grant program, because the minimum requirement for you to qualify is to deploy on Lisk. You know? So it's really a supportive ecosystem that we are coming up with. And aside from that, we are also raising an RWA fund to support RWA applications that are bringing solutions in emerging markets. So this is for the slightly advanced projects that are looking for liquidity support to be able to scale their project to the level in which they envision they'll have reached maturity. So this is just what I said. The up to 100K grant support, Lisk's extensive partner network, the grant incentives, and the airdrop. Yeah, we have an airdrop coming up this quarter, and those who are building on Lisk, deploying smart contracts on Lisk, you automatically qualify. But unlike how other airdrops have been in the past, where the whales get all the tokens and they disappear, leaving the ecosystem no longer buzzing with energy after they've withdrawn their tokens, what this does is it incentivizes people building on Lisk. You build your product on Lisk, you deploy your smart contracts on Lisk, you qualify for the airdrop, and we can also incentivize the users of your application through the same airdrop. We have such partnerships happening. And the vibrant builder and user ecosystem. Yeah, and this is another thing that I'm excited to talk about. Some of our efforts in the past few months have been to ensure that not only do you have the financial support through our grant program, the community support through our community partners, the technical capacity support through our incubators, but now the infrastructural support too. So essentially, we are building out a rounded ecosystem where all you have to do as a builder or a developer is to just plug in and your product scales across Africa. Because we have partnerships with the major on and off ramps like Kotani Pay, who are present in over 25 countries in Africa, apart from Nigeria. We have Phone Bank, we have Yellow Card, we have MoonPay. And for bridging across different chains, we just signed across, and we have Layer 0 and Relay coming up. We have Rainbow Wallet and Zerion as the native, with native Lisk integration. We have Velodrome and OcoTrade, which are the current dexes on Lisk. If you're looking for yield for your savings app that you're creating, or your payments app, or whatever it is you're building, we have Ionic and Fathom, which are our lending protocols on Lisk. We have Obligate and Backed, which offer tokenized real-world assets on Lisk. And so it's, ranging from the whole DeFi ecosystem to whatever other use case you have, because basically building a product in Web3, regardless of the use case, you're just obscuring what's happening on chain with connecting with what you're solving with your application front end and the real world. And so all this facilitate whatever use case you have, and we have more coming up. For those who follow the Lisk Twitter channel, you always see the announcements. You know, you can also, and the other thing is that some of the projects that we work with, you know, you are able to offer direct feedback. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I was carried away. I'm Georgia Morimba. I'm a business development manager at Lisk. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. The guy back there with the cap waving, that's Erwan. Erwan is our head of on-chain finance at Lisk. He leads some of the conversations with these applications here. And so we also interact one-on-one with the projects that are building on Lisk, regardless of what stage you're at. You know, you can reach me on Telegram. We can talk about, you know, what you envision for your product. What do you think the Lisk ecosystem needs to add on to be able to ensure that your product succeeds? Because that is basically how every protocol works. You know, we succeed when your project is a success, because, you know, the more on-chain activity, the more on-chain transactions you bring, the more money your application makes, the more successful our blockchain is. And so that means that we are just as invested in your success as you are. In fact, maybe more. So yeah, these are the partners, the key infrastructural partners that we have. Is there anything else here? So we want to talk about Lisk Scaffold. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm saying in short is, you know, we are building a plug and play ecosystem where you just bring your idea, you bring it to life on the Lisk chain. You bring your skill set, join others, bring your idea to life. And what I haven't talked about is our event strategy. So over the past few months, we've been at Web3 Lagos here now. We've been at ETH Accra. We'll be at ETH Safari. And at all these events, we have hackathons. And what these hackathons are is, they're not just any hackathon where you come as a bounty hunter, you build your MVP front end and then win a bounty and then disappear. No. These hackathons are prime grounds for building out projects that end up becoming unicorns. In fact, we have more than 3 projects in the Civil Labs incubator that came from, we had a hackathon at Code Africa conference in April. One project came from there. We had the Lisk online global hackathon. Another project came from there. And all these are participating in the incubator. And like the Civil Labs incubator comes with the grant of up to 100,000 in funding. It comes with mentor support. You work one-on-one with founders who've built Web3 projects that have gone on to generate billions in revenue. You get to reach out to them anytime you want and consult about what project you're building. I'm sure there's a couple who are here or just within the venue who I met yesterday who are in the program. You can speak to them, ask them about how the experience is in the Civil Labs incubator. We'll have another cohort with that one. We'll have another cohort with Aya. We'll have another cohort with Web3 Bridge. All these are on a rolling basis so that, you know, we are able to create a funnel that takes you from 0 in Lisk all the way to a successful application building on Lisk. Feel free to find me. I will invite our lead ambassador here, Etete, who will talk about the Lisk scaffold. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Georgia has pretty much said everything, so I'll just go straight to it. For those building, where the hacker house, and then okay. So we're the hacker house, and then I want to show you something that you already familiar with, right? So I think Casey was talking about Build Guild and Scaffold It. So Lisk has something like that, right? So everything is already bootstrapped for you. All you have to do is just clone a GitHub repo, install the necessary, I don't know why this is not coming up. Install the necessary dependencies. Hello. I don't know. But like I said, Scaffold Lisk actually is already bootstrapped for you. So it comes with ability to connect your wallet natively to Lisk. And also you can, of course, change the RPC at, of course, as you wish. But basically what it does, it gives you a full dApp where you can just easily just work on your smart contract and also work on your pages for the front end. So it takes like 80% of the work off for you so that you can focus on the logic of your smart contract and then, of course, the integration of your front end. Yes, I'm supposed to come. So this is Scaffold Lisk. Like I said, basically it's already bootstrapped for you. All you have to do is, of course, it comes with a documentation to actually help you here. So all you have to do is just clone this repo, actually, this one. So once you clone that repo, of course, I don't want to go through all of that because I know you guys already have other things you guys want to do. So, but you just basically just clone the repo, and then, of course, it uses Yarn. So you use Yarn install, and then you install all the dependencies, and you have a running dApp. It comes with a predefined smart contract to help for your integration. So all you have to do is, of course, you can also use either Foundry or Hardhat. It's well documented here. So you can use either Foundry or Hardhat to, of course, deploy your smart contract or to test your logic in your smart contract. And then, of course, there are other components here worth noting. So it comes with the address, of course, the balances, some input fields for you. And all of this is predefined and bootstrapped. So it takes like, for those building, you know that this takes like 80% of the workload for you and allows you to focus more on your pages for the front end guys. You can work on your pages, and then also you can also work on your smart contract logic. So of course we will be at the Lisk stand, the other hall. So if you have any further questions, you need some clarifications on anything, please feel free to meet us there and we'll gladly attend to you. Thank you.